But there are two parts of each cycle that are really special to me. And that's the first day, because the first day is always like a brand new adventure. You have the composers there, you have the new conductor there. It's all these new personalities in this room, it's all this new energy, and you never know what you're gonna get because the composers come in with their works in all kinds of different ways. You know, some people are really open, some it's really predetermined, and it's just a really interesting and exciting moment. So I have a lot of fond memories of that. And the other part I want to mention is the party at the end, after the concert, because there's so much great mingling and conversations, and you meet your audience, you talk to your audience, you kind of get to pick their brain and get some feedback about which pieces did you like, what did you enjoy, what did you find interesting, and it's always just such a great conversation. Yeah, so there's that aspect of the new piece that I am writing for an ensemble I'm a member of, and I have now a track record with each of these individual musicians. I know they're playing, I know the way they play their instrument, I know their body language when they play their instrument, the types of expressive gestures that they relate to. So I tried to put a lot of that into the piece. Like I tried to build the piece to feature the personalities in the ensemble. So that's a really integral part of this piece and part of this artistic experiment. My music is often inspired by literature. I'm a really avid reader. And Examples of Confusion is a sequence of very small short stories by Lydia Davis, who's a fiction writer I really admire. And her stories are frequently very, very short, and they describe these moments of kind of cognitive dissonance, confusion, misapprehension, or little verbal miscues, things like that. So the piece has a sort of quizzical sound, and like her stories, it's cut up into really small chunks that are then strung together. Well, I love Hyde Park. I have a lot of fond memories of this neighborhood. If the weather is good, you have to check out the green spaces in Hyde Park because they're stunning. You can start at Promontory Point and then go through Jackson Park, which is an amazing park, has this beautiful wooded aisle. Then you can stroll down the Midway and you can wind up at Washington Park, which has some very beautiful landscaping as well. So it's just so much green space. I love that about the neighborhood. If it's not such a nice day, I think Hyde Park has an unusual wealth of bookstores. The Seminary Co-op is a famous bookstore, Powell's on 57th Street Books. These are just great places if you're a book lover. And if you want a bite, I have to put in a plug for Virtue Restaurant up on 53rd. Amazing, some of the best food I've had in the city. I was a big classical music lover from the time I was a little kid. I mean, my parents played a lot of different music around the house, but all I wanted to hear was the classical music. And by the time I got to be a teenager, I was really into the 20th century. And I think my go-to composer was Stravinsky. I listened to so much Stravinsky, everything I could get my hands on. So this was before you could listen to anything instantly on the internet. So I took weekly trips to the public library, which was in Alabama, and I think, went through every Stravinsky album, certainly every Stravinsky album, and most of their classical music collection. Just a couple weeks after this premiere, I have another premiere in Washington, D.C. I now live in the Baltimore, Washington region, and I'm involved in a chamber music series there called Constellations Chamber Concerts. And I'm presenting this brand new quartet for flute, cello, percussion, and piano that's going to be on that concert series. And that's been a project that's been running in my writing the same time as this Grossman Ensemble piece. It's been a lot of writing, but I'm really excited to see both of these things coming to fruition.